Hi, and welcome to the So Near Project Everything channel. For this project, I plan on upgrading my 4U SuperMicro server chassis with some Noctua fan so that I can reduce the jet engine noise coming from the fan that came with the case. This case is not very well known, and honestly, I did not know it exists until I searched eBay for used server and I just happened to find it. It supports ATX platforms, so both ATX and I believe eATX motherboard will fit in it. It also supports full-size ATX power supplies without any issues. You do need to use double-sided tape to stick the power supply down, or you can create a bracket for it using a 3D printer. This case has one intake fan in the front that is an odd size, 92mm. It has two fans in the back that acts as exhaust. Those are normal 80mm size. Of course, both of them are much thicker than desktop fan size since they are built for servers. The only caveat this case has is that the front I/O panel uses SuperMicro proprietary cable, so you will have to either buy an adapter to split it off to individual power, LEDs, reset plugs for the standard ATX motherboard front panel pins. I'll link the adapter I'm using for this case in the description just in case you need one. If you're curious on what I have in here, it is only a i7 6700K that I repurposed to use as a frigate server. I have 7 4K camera running full resolution on it. The CPU usually hovers around 33 to 50%, and this case has no problem keeping the temperature down with those jet engine fans. There's also 3 purple Western Digital drives in here. They usually hover around 31 degrees Celsius. My house is normally kept around 23 degrees Celsius. For the testing, I would just keep it simple since the goal for this project is to reduce the noise coming from the server. I will just measure the decibel before and after the fan replacement. I'll also be taking the average temperature of my motherboard and my CPU with the stock fan, and then again after I replace them with the Noctua fan. I took the opportunity to change out the optical drive since I have it open. This one just refused to open each time I click that button, so I replaced it with an old Asus optical drive I had on hand from a while back. Yes, they are very outdated tech, but I still need one since I still have a backlog of DVDs that I need to rip into my Plex collection. The installation of the new fans takes a little bit of creativity to complete. The front panel uses very thick stock fan in a cage that is pretty much proprietary. There were no way to fit the Noctua fans inside the cage and put it back in, so I decided to just leave it out completely. Instead, I attached a 92mm intake Noctua fan with the rubber grommet thing that was included with the fan packaging. I only used 2 to keep it stable, but it seems to hold just fine. If it ever falls off, I'm just gonna replace those grommet with zip ties. I probably shouldn't keep the fan so close to the grill since this creates additional wind noise. Maybe I'll revisit this in the future after 3D modeling some kind of adapter for it. The cable from the Noctua fan was not long enough to reach the pin on my motherboard, so I had to use one of the extension cables that was included in the fan kit. As for the rear 80mm fan, the cage also holds a pretty thick 80mm stock fan. However, I was able to just screw the Noctua fan to it. Even though it did leave a gap in the cage, the gap is fine since it is on the side that is not facing the case. The fan is still sitting flush against the case, so exhausting air won't be a problem. For these two 80mm fans, I use a Y adapter cable to connect both of them to the header on my motherboard. I forgot to mention this before, but my fan profile is set to balance inside the BIOS, and this was not changed throughout this process. The speed ramp of the fan depends on the CPU temperature. With that said, I'll just go ahead and display the result on screen. The motherboard temperature before was 37 degrees Celsius and the CPU temperature before was 40 degrees Celsius. After the fan replacement, the motherboard temperature was 34 degrees Celsius and the CPU temperature was 37 degrees Celsius. So with the fan installed, there is clearly a difference in temperature. Not sure why the Noctua fan is doing better than the stock fan, but I am not complaining. This could just be the difference in the ambient temperature in the room. What surprised me was the stock fan had a much higher RPM and moved much more air than the Noctua did, which is why I did not think that the Noctua fan would do better here. I honestly think that it would definitely be quieter, but I did not expect the temperature to be lower, so this is definitely an unexpected win for me. Overall, this project was fun and the total cost for me was only about $57.47 for the 3 Noctua fans. It is a little pricey when compared to other fans out there, but I wanted the durability since I don't plan on touching this server again for a while. I did not care for the noise from the server rack before because I left it in one of the guest room, but as I need to move it out of there and return the guest room, reducing the noise on my server rack is definitely necessary. I plan on putting out a few more videos in this series, so if you are interested, please subscribe so you'll be notified when they are available. I hope you enjoy watching this project, and if this video was helpful to you, please hit that like button so that YouTube can recommend it to more people. Also, if it's not too much trouble, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. If you have any question, please leave it in the comment section and I will get to it as soon as I can. With that said, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.